The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
It's Friday, the 10th day of February, 2023. Welcome to Bermuda's Daily Talk Show. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by Medical House, One Communications, and Lindo's. I'm Jamel Hartman. She's Sherry Smiling Vanderpool, and Tamara McHale will be with us in a bit to bring you the latest in her news break brought to you by People's Pharmacy. Sister Sherry, it's your day.
It is. It's Friday, the best day of the week.
Tell them why again. Tell them why again.
Because it's the weekend.
Tell them what you don't have to do on the weekend.
Well, I don't know. I possibly have to work tomorrow. So
she doesn't have to see all of us. That's what it is.
I don't have to see you. Let's be clear.
I don't understand why people hit me up. Oh, you treat Sherry so hard, and they don't hear the comments that you make like this, and you talk about short legs and stuff. And I just don't understand why it's so one-sided.
Short legs run fast. Remember that's the key part.
See, this is what I'm saying. The rudeness, folks. And I was gonna send her some Girl Scout cookies, but it ain't happening now. It ain't happening. Nope.
He ain't got my address, guys. Then let him feel you.
But yesterday she said I have her address. Oh no, okay. Anyway, greetings everyone, and thanks for making us part of your daily routine. A good one today as we welcome Grammy. I thought I was gonna say grumpy like me. Grammy nominated producer Rian Williams. Folks, I'm really looking forward to this convo, right? I'm glad he and I had a chat before coming on, because I'm like, I went high school. I don't want to claim it, but I'm just like, I just couldn't remember which school, but we went to high school together. Great. Honestly,
he was way older than him, right?
No, he said only a year behind me. But you know why I like this? Because I didn't, you know how you go to college and you find out someone went to your school, or you're in a fraternity or sorority and you find out someone doing well in your group or whatnot. I love to know that people that were in my space are doing, or I shared spaces with, I should say, are doing well. So I'm really looking forward to the conversation. And I just hope people who have young people in their lives who have aspirations in this space. I think the greatest thing about Ryan is that he's based in Bermuda and doing it right now. So that's something cool that I'm really looking forward to. The daily play is whatever Sherry is going to ask me that I'm going to get right. So
I will give you a hint. It's in the category, and I have two questions, so we need to make sure our time is right. But it has to do with Super Bowl. Super Bowl's coming up this Sunday. So
I don't know much about American football history, so
I'm a winner.
Super Bowl this Sunday. Oh, I'm gonna get me some chicken wings. Hey, entering chicken back in my diet was a great thing, man. I mean, my goodness. Anyway, if you haven't already, make sure you have registered to become a member of the TDH community. You can either do it on our website application right up top, or you can just join our YouTube channel. Thank you to everyone, super chat or donation, who supports us financially. We definitely appreciate it. All the work that these guys put in to make this show happen. So it is very much appreciated. And yeah, let's get into today's conversation. There's so many things that we can discuss, folks. There's a lot of things happening in Bermuda. We have parliamentary privilege. I don't know if everyone understands what that is, but basically parliamentary privilege means that sitting members of parliament can pretty much say things in the House of Assembly, right? They can say things in the House of Assembly without, I believe, calling people a liar, right? So they can if you look, there was a story in the Royal Gazette the other day where the former minister and current MP, Deputy Speaker of the House, Derek Burgess, basically claimed the local bank had issued statements to two premiers or former premiers stating that their bank accounts will be closed. And he went on about that. He then was critiquing the police and talking about people in prison who were unfairly convicted. Then you had the guy Keynes, MP Rian Keynes, who went on about taxi drivers. I find it unbelievable. So I think I said this yesterday. I'll just share it again. I was with the big boys in Florida yesterday. I was in Miami at Florida Attractions Association. I think because all of my family is pretty much in Bermuda, I will always have this soft spot for Bermuda as a destination, regardless of how I feel about the government or the Bermuda Tourism Authority, whose responsibility it is to drive visitors to the island. But one of the things, you're there with Disney, you're there with these smaller ones as well. And all I'm thinking in my head is, how can Bermuda compete? Really? Right. I'm just like, and then I listened to this diatribe by Rian Keynes in the House of Assembly, and I really ask myself, because it's one thing I do with this show, is when I come on this show every morning, anything and everything that I say, I want to make sure that I actually believe it. And I'm like, this guy cannot believe 95% of the stuff that he said, and it sounded like such hot air. But what really gets me when I listen to the House of Assembly is this is what's become acceptable in Bermuda. Sound loud, sound intelligent, and say nothing. Really, say nothing at all. Because if you listen to him, I'm not blaming the taxi drivers, but it is the taxi drivers. Folks, I don't know if you've ever been to New York City or even any major gateway city in the US, but you can complain about customer service. You can complain about taxi drivers. I think Bermuda, especially the people who are charged with tourism, keep coming up with excuses as to the product, why it's bad. But I'm going to tell you what, no matter what a survey tells you, the French people were known to be some of the worst in the world, but people were still flocking to Paris and Marseille.
Oui.
Stop looking for excuses. And
Sorry.
We needed that, Sherry.
Sorry.
She brought on her little French that she knows. But folks, honestly, Bermuda, what you need is less people who talk a good game and more people who know how to do the work. But we're not talking about either of those things. What we're going to address is, I put on Twitter this morning that I think Dr. Maria Seaman is like iPhone to me. It's like an iPhone. And you all know how I feel about iPhone. I'm a Samsung user, but I like Mac products, just not the iPhone. I like products for what their intended use are. But I think Dr. Seaman is like iPhone in this respect. And let me go just pull up my tweet to put context to it.
Yeah.
I want people to understand what I mean when I say she's like iPhone, because Twitter's very short. I said, Dr. Maria Seaman is like the iPhone, a great marketer. She knows how to rile people up and get their attention. And whenever she's ready, she does just that.
Did you get a response to that?
Well, yeah, one brother says, or it just happens, negativity spreads like wildfire. Well, who helps that negativity spread? You feel me? iPhone's not the greatest phone. If you're very honest, you know that iPhone is not the best phone. You would literally admit, it's been proven over studies that it's not the best. The operating system's not better than Android, right? But that said, more people in the US, not in the world, obviously more people have Android, but more people in the US, I believe, have iOS, right? Their iPhone.
Right.
Why? Because it's the best damn marketed thing, and it gets people's attention. You all can disagree with me, but Dr. Seaman, what she said yesterday, got you all's attention. How do I know? Go look at the views on her YouTube videos. Go look at the comments on her page if she hasn't deleted them. She got your attention. But that's not what we're talking about either. Here's the question. And I think we should probably change it now. Well, let's put the question out there first. Do you agree that religion should be taught in school? Yes or no? Do you? And I'm not, when I say religion, folks, I think people automatically think Christianity. Christianity does not own religion. Religion could be anything. And in the US, I believe religion is a set of beliefs by an individual group of people. So Sherry and I can start a religion today if we'd like, based on US law.
Jamal, you already have your religion.
Yeah, it's freedom. My religion's freedom, and it will continue to be freedom. I pray to my ancestors daily. I think that religion is a concept of where people are born and what they are taught to believe. If we were all born in the Middle East, we would believe a whole different thing. I don't criticize anyone's beliefs. As long as your beliefs are not causing harm physically, emotionally, or mentally to another person, then you can have them. You can have them. But I am not a religious person. I'm going to be very clear with that. I am not religious. But I have nothing wrong against those who believe in their gods. I know what I believe in. I know who I believe in. I know who I pray to. My ancestors, they may not have been on a cross, but they were crucified.
I agree with you and when you break it down in regard to, I think students need to understand a variety of religions, ones that they may have grown up in and ones that are out there that other people practice. So you can also have a better understanding of sometimes what people's beliefs are and where they're coming from. And just in general knowledge in respecting a person of who they are. If you see someone doing something that's a little bit different, then if you've had these studies, you're kind of like, okay, I understand. May not agree, but I understand. And understanding is what we really and truly want.
Sherry and I have been doing this show almost 2 years together, and I think we're finally there. You know what I'm saying? Like, finally there. But, and I say finally there because that's it. That's literally my point I was going to make. It's really about understanding. It's not about agreement. It's just understanding. That's the whole purpose of this. So that first question, folks, was, do you believe religion should be taught in school? Traveling Trotty says, yes, it should be. Michelle White says, yes, religion at its foundations is about morals. Rachel Bill says, I learned about Islam in religious studies, which was taught in high school. Religion should be taught, and it should include all major religions. And Sam Cat Play says, yes, it should be. It was taught at Work Academy. I learned about Buddhism, Muslims, and Jewish religions. I said Muslims. I was listening to Dr. Seaman. I'm sorry. So I'm not being funny. I'm serious. Here's the thing. That was the first question, whether you thought religion should be taught. No. Dr. Seaman's point apparently was that, and she's probably tuned in, but her point, according to her, was that the Berkeley Institute was founded on Christian principles, right? That was her point. But Dr. Seaman, if this was Bermuda Institute, where Seventh-day Adventist school, a private institution where the foundation is, Christianity and the Seventh-day Adventist version of Christianity, I could understand your argument, Dr. Seaman. You've got me. If this was Mount St. Agnes, right?
Yeah.
Where it's about Catholicism, right? Is it Catholicism? Did I pronounce that right? Or
it sounds good. We're going to go with that.
I don't want to be, Catholic faith, based on the Catholic faith. If this was there, I could understand your argument, Dr. Seaman. But I guarantee you, Dr. Seaman, if you ask the majority of Berkeleyites, which many of them tune into this show for some reason, I guarantee you, if you ask the majority of them, if they ever saw Berkeley as a Christian institution, they'd probably say no. No.
Especially when some of the teachers, are present and a part of that, a part of many different religions that are at that school.
Yeah. And so I guess we should put the question up is, what can we learn from outrage against Berkeley students being educated about, hold on 2 seconds. Hold on 2 seconds, folks. Hold on. Let me just see something. All right. What can we, I had to press to figure out how it was pronounced. What can we learn from the outrage against Berkeley students being educated about the hijab? What can we learn? What can we learn?
I mean, in what context can we learn anything in regard to we support that the students of learning of a different religion? That's what we can learn from it, Jamal. It's to me it's ridiculous that it's even being highlighted in the sense that it is,
Mhm.
and the reasoning behind it. The fact that we're seeing something positive in one of these schools, let's highlight that. That
Mhm.
is something positive, especially for students who may have been interested in what it is all about.
Yeah.
You know, I think that yes, negative publicity is marketing and all of those things, but what are we marketing
Yeah.
in regard to children learning something different? Not saying that they have to be, that they're asking them to practice being a part of that religion. They're not telling them that this is something that they have to do,
Mhm.
but they're learning about it as they would learn about any other country of any other, practice in the school. So I'm confused as to why it's being highlighted in a negative sense, especially when it's coming to students.
Yeah. I agree, Sherry. I think I have more questions. Maybe someone, again, who's taught at Berkeley, who sits on the Berkeley board, who was educated at Berkeley. I mean, I would love to know from a Berkeleyite, did you view Berkeley as a Christian institution? I thought it was a perfect opportunity. You know, and I know to some, again, I think Dr. Seaman, like the iPhone, she knows what she's doing. She's a very intelligent lady and knowing what she's doing. She picked this fight strategically. She chose this battle, right? But I say she chose this battle because I'm not quite sure this was one that made sense for me. To me, I think this was a perfect opportunity to say, you know what? Although we may be, I believe it's a Christian institution, this is a perfect opportunity for understanding. There were some people I knew who knew nothing about Muslims until that event in 2001.
Mm.
I know people who knew nothing. And so I think this is about understanding. I see absolutely nothing wrong with it.
Nothing.
Why are you so threatened by children learning about others in a manner where it's going to bring some sort of understanding? You want to go through these comments from Sean Smith down to Tanya Cheeseman, Sherry?
Sure. I'm going to share my age, but when they did take religious studies when did they take religious studies out of school? I was taught it when I went to Sands Secondary School. Me as well, Sean Smith. But he answered the question, but yes, it should be.
Mm-hmm.
It's pronounced capitalism. The experience for students is demonstrating appreciation and respect for Mo from Traveling Trotty. I agree with that.
Mm.
And Sam Cat Play says, we shouldn't learn from the preacher in this case. She is teaching hate and that Christianity isn't inclusive based on love, brotherhood, etc. Honestly, she needs a muzzle.
Well, let me stop there. I don't think she's preaching hate. I don't. I saw people saying that. I saw people to like almost the cancel culture thing. No. Dr. King told us about this. Hate doesn't drive out hate. I don't believe in silencing people who I disagree with. I'm sorry. I don't believe that, from my perspective, you could feel different, but I don't think she's promoting physical, mental, or emotional harm. She just strongly disagrees on something being taught to young people. I don't think that's a reason to say she shouldn't be on social media or have a platform. Because to me, that's the tolerant becoming intolerant. You're doing what you're accusing that person of, from my perspective. So I don't think, no, she doesn't need a muzzle. She just needs intelligent people like you to respond to her with a stronger argument. That's it. Tanya Cheeseman says, religion can also be one's culture. I'm sure they were not throwing the religion down their throats. How can people be given the power to make informed decisions in life if they are not taught? Bingo. Agreed.
Informed decisions. My
Agreed.
word.
Agreed. Renee Simmons says, there are far too many religions. I prefer spirituality. Religion itself is a foundation for the unknown and a step toward a personal religion of choice. And we have, it is healthy to learn and understand about others, whether it is religion or otherwise.
Yeah. And I just think in that instance, like no one's saying like that they were practicing to be a Muslim. You know what I mean? Or the children were convinced to be. It was learning about what this religion is.
I mean, Sherry, I think that's one of the issues, though. That's the issue. I saw it as they were celebrating the second annual hijab day and really an opportunity to learn. Why? Because there may be students at the school who wear them. There are students who have worn them in the past, and maybe a teacher. Just really understanding.
That's it.
Yeah. I think folks, there's lessons in this. There are lessons in this, and I think one of the lessons is that we truthfully will never get to a point of understanding unless we are open to really being tolerant. Yeah, that makes sense.
You just have to be open to understanding, and understand makes you tolerant of others in regards to what it is that they are practicing. And it doesn't look strange when you know, and then when you've been informed about it. So when you see something, it doesn't shock you. It's like, okay, I understand. So yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's bring in our guest for the day. I'm saying it's Tamara's time. It's news break time. Sorry, you folks have rushed me. Let's bring in Tamara McHale for the news break. Don't forget, we've got Grammy-nominated Bermudian producer Rian Williams on the show for a great conversation today. So stick with us. News break time. We need this break. Dr. Seaman, again, great marketer. Knows what she's doing.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I was wondering if I'm the guest.
Well, yeah, I almost, man, look, shucks. Seaman got me all over the place. You know Dr. Seaman? You know Dr. Seaman tomorrow?
I don't know her.
Oh, okay.
But because of the discussion, I actually said I'm going to head over to YouTube to check it out.
See, she's a great marketer. Didn't I tell you? She got Tamara's attention.
You let me get her attention.
Yeah, and that's what the brother said. The brother said, oh, negativity, but we spread negativity. That's what people seem to like. You know what I'm saying? You could get positive conversations. Somebody speaking about your health. You get 10 hits. Somebody speaking about something everybody gets angry at, and it's, whatever. So that's just the way the world works, I guess, right?
Indeed.
Yeah. What you got for us today? What's popping in the news?
All right. Well, this is the Daily Hour news break for today, Friday, February 10, brought to you by the People's Pharmacy. So there is no confusion over the fate of a proposed St. George's restaurant after a businessman, Mariko Thomas, abandoned his plans, saying he had been blocked by the Department of Planning for too long. So the entrepreneur claimed he had lost $300,000 while waiting for the restaurant on the site of the former pub on the square in King Square, St. George's, to get planning approval, and was putting the property up for sale. The quite upset businessman had a lot to say, stating, among other things, that, quote, economic development, jobs for Bermudians, support for entrepreneurship, respect for foreign investment, an advantage by being black during a black government? None of that. At least not for me. I guess that is my fault, he added. I'm not friend nor family, just an idiot who thought he could make a difference. End quote. So,
Oh,
meanwhile, media reports allege that Walter Robon, the Home Affairs Minister, claimed that Mr. Thomas had not been informed of a reprieve given in January for the development after planning earlier had rejected retroactive approval regarding an exhaust fan installed on the heritage building. And the
mm.
minister said he personally signed the approval letter in January. And so he's not sure how this was not relayed to Mr. Thomas, but he will get the full facts today.
I quite enjoyed his rant. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm like that. I quite enjoyed his rant. Let's say this. Let me say this. I'm still stuck when the brothers lost $300,000. I ain't even got $200,000 to lose. $100,000. You lost $300. Man, look, you couldn't do that in the U.S. Nah, they would sue, man. They had to sue boys out, your lawyers and right.
I was gonna be Red Jamal, but I ain't.
Yeah, like that. Yeah, like that. But hey, honestly, I do feel for him. All seriousness, I feel for anyone who, we all know St. George's needs business, right? They need businesses. I think that the workers down there, the residents down there would have loved something like this. But I think I'm going to put a little conspiracy thing out there.
Why?
I do wonder if this is MP Renee Ming's constituency. Do wonder if they're trying to sabotage it. I don't know. I'm just putting it out there. Anyway, what else you got in there?
Interesting. In other news, there is an aim to reduce bullying and harassment in the workplace. The Bermuda government says it is committed to ensuring that there are reduced incidents, and a government spokesperson said every individual should feel that relevant safeguards are in place to protect them from being violated at their place of employment, and employers should be accountable to ensure that this is the case. So the Ministry of Labor says that if you have any issues related to bullying and or sexual harassment, you can contact the Human Rights Commission or the Labor Relations section. And you can also make a report by the Employment Violations tip line at www.bermudajobboard.bm/EVTL. Additionally, for questions regarding the bullying and sexual harassment policy, please contact the Labor Relations section at 23 Parliament Street, Hamilton at 297-7716 or by email.
You're gonna need to send me that information.
Carrie bullies me every morning, and I'm a bit,
Camera.
I'm a bit concerned how she
I
treats.
need that.
What else you got for us, sister?
I don't know if it applies to both y'all.
Yeah,
It does.
yeah, it does. Yeah. Everybody, one got witnesses in the audience will tell you how she treats me.
Wow.
My short legs and all that. But go ahead. Sorry.
Wow. And gardeners who want to get a jump on spring planting and anyone with a sweet tooth are invited to head to the Bermuda National Trust plant and bake sale on Saturday. The event will go ahead between 8:30 a.m. and noon at the Trust's Waterville headquarters on Commander Road, Paget. And Karen Border, BNT Executive Director, said they're inviting everyone to Waterville to choose from a fabulous selection of plants, from bedding annuals to unusual trees, you name it.
All righty.
Yeah. So in some other regional news, history was created on Wednesday in the Caribbean island of St. Kitts and Nevis when Muriel Knight began his new job as the deputy clerk of St. Kitts and Nevis's National Assembly. And that is because Knight is only 19 years old, and so he's the youngest person to hold a senior role in the country's parliamentary structure. So congratulations to the team.
Interesting. Congratulations to that young brother. I hope I don't know if your politics is like Bermuda's. Bless your heart, my brother. Bless your heart. Get that blood pressure monitor out, brother. What else you got for us?
And finally, wrapping it up, the state of the health profile of the Jamaican population has led Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton to conclude that the country is in a crisis, as some citizens are now forced, he said, to adjust their lifestyles due to health challenges. Minister Tufton was speaking at Thursday's launch of the Heart Foundation of Jamaica's Out of Our Schools mass media campaign. And pretty much according to him, he says, if you examine the health profile of our population, we are in a crisis. End quotes.
All righty. Well, how's the weather looking? How's the weather looking? Give it to us. Good weekend or what?
Yeah, it's actually, so this morning, it will be a mostly sunny morning with a southwesterly breeze in Bermuda. So yeah, nice and sunny with a bit of breeze. I like that.
Okay.
And here in Jamaica, isolated showers across sections of northern parishes, but it's mainly sunny elsewhere, including in Kingston, Jamaica.
All righty. All right. You got that sunny Kingston in. What you looking like, Sherry? What's the days of the year?
So today is International Winter Bike to Work Day, which is a globally celebrated holiday for commuting on bicycles. The day has been set aside to encourage people from around the world to consider biking to work as opposed to the common alternative of driving. The day encourages people to engage in commuting on bicycles as a healthy and safe alternative.
All righty. Okay.
Get out your bikes.
I'm not biking it to work. Real quick, I saw the other day it was National Pizza Day in the U.S., right? And it showed up on my Twitter. You all know me. I eat pizza without cheese, and people ask me, like, I don't know why waitresses and waiters try me. Like, just mind your business. Don't like waitress in Miami had the audacity to, but that's not pizza. Don't tell me what pizza is. I'm asking for a pizza with no cheese, with green peppers, onions, and some jalapenos. Why are you questioning me? But anyway,
Sounds like gas.
if someone
It doesn't sound like cheese. It just sounds like bread and vegetables.
and some sauce too. Thank you. So anyway, question for you guys. But yeah, call me what you want. Question for you guys: what's your favorite toppings on a pizza?
Pepperoni, onion, mushrooms. Pepperoni, onion, mushrooms, a little bit of spinach sometimes.
Okay.
I could do olives. Just all depends on how I'm feeling.
What you
Yeah,
like?
I love pepperoni. That's my favorite. And I love olives. And Jamaica Pizza Hut, as a twist, they also have a jerk chicken pizza.
Oh, that might have cheese in it.
Yeah, which is good. And do you guys know Aki?
Of course.
Yes.
Okay, so there's also an Aki pizza, not at Pizza Hut though, like local pizzas have that.
Folks, let us know in the audience what are your favorite toppings on pizza? Oh, so you guys, when you said your toppings, you didn't mention cheese. You eat cheese on your pizza, right?
Cheese is automatic. What I don't do is pineapples.
So
I love pineapples on a Hawaiian pizza.
Pineapples don't belong on pizza to you, sir?
No. I love pineapple. I don't like it cooked. I don't want it on ham. I don't want it on pizza.
Okay, you gotta run. Tamara, you're a pepperoni girl. We'll see you soon. Have a great weekend.
Have a good weekend. No, I want pizza.
Folks, let us know in the audience what your favorite toppings on your pizza is. Don't go anywhere. We've got our very important guest coming up. Rian A-Track Williams, Grammy nominated. We will be back after this. Stick with us.
Let's face it, life can be a little wild, but shopping doesn't have to be. I choose People's, so that whether it's a prescription that needs to be filled, a toy for my little terror, or a gift for a new addition to the family, we'll see about that. Everything's available in one convenient location. Some call it People's, I call it my one-stop shop in the city. People's, we're here for you.
Welcome to the new bulk store, Lindo's Next Level. Wake up in the morning with enough coffee to keep you running throughout the entire day. Your pet at home deserves the best. Stock up on dog food to keep your puppy happy. Need a quick, tasty lunch at home? Your chicken nuggets will be jumping right out of the freezer. What's a movie night without popcorn? You can never have too much. Lindo's Next Level. Why go anyplace else?
Mom's celebrating her 70th birthday next month. Have you noticed her age is catching up with her?
Yeah. Plus, she's having a hard time getting up and around like she's used to. I would sure hate to see her fall.
At Medical House Limited, we can help make life situations easier. We have electric beds, motorized scooters, bath stools, walkers, you name it.
Mom's been real good to us. We'll get her birthday and Christmas gifts from Medical House.
Medical House has relocated next to the Dandytown Field, number 6 Bakery Lane, Pembroke. Telephone 292-3622.
Alrighty, welcome back to the Big Show. Sherry Vanderpool, I'm Jamal Hartman. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by Medical House, One Communications, Lindo's, and People's Pharmacy. Folks, make sure you sign up for our TDH community. You don't want to miss some of the great things we have coming up. Real quickly, before we went to break, we asked folks what the favorite toppings on pizza was. So it was National Pizza Day here in the U.S. the other day. So let's find out what some of the people said, Sherry. We've got some mushrooms, onions, pineapple, olives, and more cheese, says David Wilson. Got pepperoni and meat lovers, Tanya Cheeseman. We've got pineapple, NTS, I think that's at you. Hawaiian pizza with chicken. We've got mozzarella and tomato with pesto basil base.
I like that.
We've got pepperoni, simple pepperoni from Sam Cat. Nicole Walker says pineapple, onion, peppers. Manuela John says Italian sausage, mushroom, black olives, bacon, cheese. Oh, you guys got the works. Pineapple and hamburger. Just had some last night. Sorry, Sherry. That's Roslyn. Chica Arena says pepperoni. So I'm guessing everyone who shared toppings likes cheese on their pizza as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because that's normal.
No, yeah, but you all know I'm not a normal person. So look, just give me some bread with some sauce. Oh, he said white sauce. Ken Trust says white sauce. Yeah.
I like white sauce.
Here you go. Now, I got a little barbecue sauce, got some onions, green peppers, jalapenos, mushrooms, you know what I'm saying? That's a good pizza. It's a good pizza.
No, it's not.
You know what? Let's bring in our guest in, because I'm not taking this from you all anymore. You all are haters. Without further ado, let's bring in our guest today. We've got Rian Williams. He is a Bermudian Grammy-nominated music producer. Please give him a warm TDH welcome, folks.
So excited. Bye.
Morning, good
Hey,
What's happening, man?
All right, it's cool. So let me just start off by saying that I like pineapple, I like spinach, and I like mushrooms and extra cheese on my pizza.
Ryan, just when I thought I knew you. I
don't know, Sherry. You said olives. I don't know about that.
Olives too. But yeah, I'm quite shocked that a few people said olives, but I'm glad, because you can tell this man's in the industry, because that's my first question. So what you like when you are? I'm ready, right? So he likes pineapple, Sherry. How's that going to impact your relationship with him?
It's not, because I still love Roy. I still love him. It's fine.
No pizza date. You know what I'm saying?
No pizza date. That's all.
Hey, well, look, it's Super Bowl weekend this weekend, folks. So I'm sure everybody's gonna be fighting over what they want on their pizzas. You can have yours. I'm gonna have my Ernst pizza with no cheese. You can have all that there. But Ryan, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Appreciate you coming on, man. And first off, as I said to you prior to coming on, it's honestly a pleasure to talk with you. You've accomplished something that, many people only do dream of. And I think, starting off, just telling those who may not know, just tell us a bit about your background and what it is that you do.
Sure. So I am a music producer. I only make music. Some people that see me and they think that I'm a DJ or even an artist, and I'm like, no,
I think we're challenged. I think hello, Ryan, you there? I think we're having a bit of a technical challenge, folks. Give us a second. It happens sometimes.
Yes, it does. It's called live.
I'll take him out. He's frozen. We'll bring him back in a second. Give us 2 seconds. But Ryan is a music producer, and I'm glad he said that, because I remember we had Damon on Damon DeGraff, and he does DJ on the side, but people started looking at him as a DJ, and he's like, no, I'm not a DJ, I'm a NR and so on. We're having a bit of challenges with Ryan, but we'll bring him back in a second. Let's just see if we can do that. But Sherry, again, he's a music producer. He only produces music.
He only produces music, and and being a part of this interview, I was excited, Jamal, because I have seen Rian from his early beginnings to where he is now. So it's quite exciting to see that. And he's a music producer.
Yeah. Let's bring him back in. I think we're straight now. We can bring him back into the conversation. Rian, you there? You good?
Yeah, sorry. I was ordering a pizza.
See this guy.
But it had pineapple, so that's why it froze.
So where I left off, I'm a music producer. I've been doing it since I was 15 years old. I went full time completely in 2012, and I first started my journey in Atlanta, and I was going back between Atlanta and California. Yeah.
And you said you were going back and forth between Atlanta and California. Speak to us about that experience and then landing back in Bermuda. And you're actually doing your work from Bermuda right now.
Yes. So I left Bermuda in 2012 and I went to Atlanta. And when I went, I literally only had like a few $100s in my pocket. And what happened, my job that I had in Bermuda, they didn't renew my contract because I was doing telecommunications. So I called my mama and I said, that's it. I'm gotta go. I'm gonna pursue my music career. And at that time we had a mortgage. We had all these things going on. And my mama, just being the biggest believer in me, she was just like, just go ahead, go pursue your dream. And I left Bermuda 2012 with a few $100s in my pocket. Cause I took my last paycheck to pay my part of the mortgage and bills, and then I left. And I told myself that I'm not coming back to Bermuda until I'm signed and I'm just in a better position. So in 2012, I left, went to Atlanta, a few $100s in my pocket, and within 2 years, I ended up getting signed to 2 Chainz. 2 Chainz is a management label called Street Exacts. But what even got me that opportunity was my first big placement was with 50 Cent, and that was assisted by 20 Butterfield. Because at the time, she was working with him. And she was like, right, just keep on sending beats. And I said, okay. I sent her some beats, and then 9 months later, because I totally forgot about it. So 9 months later, she hit me up and she was like, Fit this dropping a new project and you produced on it. And I'm like, yeah, right. And she goes, no, seriously, you did. And she put me in contact with everybody. And it was only a mixtape, but at that time, mixtapes were everything. And I didn't care because my thing was I just need to get the opportunity. I'm not worrying about the money right now. I just want people to know my name. And for artists like 50 Cent to be my biggest industry placement is huge. And the funny thing is when they was asking me what is my producer name, I literally thought of my producer name a week before they asked me, because I had all these other names and I was just brainstorming, and I wanted to have a name that represented music. And I wrote down all these names like cassette, turntable, 8-track. I was like, 8-track. I was like, that's a nice little ring to it. And I went on Google and I was like, let me just see if there's another producer by the name of 8-track. And it wasn't. So when they asked me, what's my producer name? I told them 8-track, and yeah, that's part of 8-track.
I love that, though. I love this. That's a cool story. And you mentioned that you worked with 2 Chainz and 50 Cent, and you've worked with quite a few artists. But who's someone you've yet to work with that you'd like to work with, and why?
That is a really good question. To be honest, I would say it would have to be an artist that takes me out of my comfort zone, because I'm known for making hip hop. The funny thing is, and I'm gonna get back to your question. The funny thing is, what I am awarded for I'm sorry, what I am nominated for, I wasn't even producing reggae at all. I was literally just a hip hop and R&B producer, and I started to listen to reggae more when I got sick in 2014, and I needed some music to listen to, just to keep me calm. And I was listening to like a lot of roots music, and I came across Protege's music, and I was like, okay, let me keep on listening to his music. And then one day I went on Google again, and I typed in Protege's manager contact information, and up came his mother. So I ended up reaching out to her. Me and her had a conversation, and she was like, send me some music and I'll forward it to my son. And I did. And then like a few months later, he hit me up. He said, hey, I like what you got. Keep sending more. I sent him some more stuff. And then literally probably like 3-4 months after that, he hit me up with his WhatsApp number. And I thought it was kind of cool because, I'm living in America. Everybody's using iMessage. So because he's a Jamaican artist, I was like, oh, he uses WhatsApp like me. That's kind of cool. So we had a good conversation. And I would say from 2015 up until now, he just said, we're gonna have a song. So for like 7-8 years, just sending him music. Didn't ask him nothing, just like, hey bro, just sent you something. I just kept on sending music for like 7-8 years, and we didn't do nothing. And then last year, he that's the year before last was when he was like, yeah, we got one. And then that was me like finally starting to produce for like reggae artists. No, sorry. That was me and him, that was our biggest placement together. And he was introducing me to other reggae artists. And so I was producing like out of my comfort zone. So to go back to your question, for me, an artist I would like to work with, it's just any artist that takes me out of my comfort zone, that evolves me as a music producer, because I don't want to be just known for just one thing.
So maybe somebody like Sam Smith or Adele or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm going to go. I'll go when you first.
Yes. But any artist that takes me out of my comfort zone, I'm pretty, because I listen to all kinds of music. Not all kinds, but I listen to a good range of music. So I don't want to limit myself, basically, because I don't want people to hear something and then they're like, oh, that sounds like an 8-track.
Right. Got you.
I want to.
That's how Babyface became back in the 90s. Like, you knew it was a Babyface song, right?
Right. And people know you for your style is good too, as well, because they would say, well, look, I want an 8-track beat, and so like having your style or your signature is good too, but for me, I like to have my signature and also diversity.
Yeah, it's like Timbaland having his signature. You know, a Timbaland song, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think, yeah.
But you mentioned Protege, and you were nominated for a Grammy this year for working with him and with the album. How did you find out, and what was your reaction?
I was in a meeting actually, and I shouldn't have been on my phone, but I just happened to be on my phone and browsing, and I came across some Grammy news, and it said it showed up the category for the best reggae album. So I'm just browsing through, and I'm like, Protege. So I sent him a WhatsApp, and I was like, yeah, what's this I see? Like, with the album being Grammy nominated? And he called me, and he was like, bro, congratulations. And I'm like, for what? And he's like, you're Grammy nominated. I was like, what? And I couldn't even focus after that. Like, my body was shaking. And I came back. So I actually left the meeting. And I came back, and I'm just sitting in the meeting, not even focusing. I'm just like, I can't believe I'm Grammy nominated. And then, everybody found out, and it's just been like I must admit, like Bermuda has showed me nothing but love. Like from all ages, just everybody. Like I could be walking on the street and somebody just says, Ryan, and I'm like, yeah. And they're like, congratulations. And I'm like, really? Like, wow, like that means a lot, you know? So it's been a lot of support, upliftment, like encouraging words. And it's been unreal because like my journey, you know, and the sacrifice that I made to get to this space, to even be Grammy nominated, is just like, it's like a wow moment, you know. And when I reflect on the journey, just everything that I endured, you know, like just not having money, getting sick, you know, the things that I have lost, the people that I have lost, you know, it was at one point, it was people passing away that were close to me. I couldn't even come back to Bermuda because I was in the process of getting my temporary green card and things like that. So it was just like a lot of sacrifices that were made to get to this point. And when I just self-reflect, I'm just like at a very peaceful place about it all. And I don't take it for granted, you know? And I'll tell you guys something even funnier. So I got Grammy nominated for the song. Well, I produced Prodigy's first single off his album. So the album got Grammy nominated, but the artist that won, this was the first time I didn't produce for him.
Wow.
So the artist that actually won, Kabaka, his last two albums I produced on, and he hit me up before he released his album, and he was just like, bro, I'm gonna work with one producer on this next album, but I got you back on the next one. And I was like, all right, cool, like no problem, like I ain't worry about that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so when I see that he won, I'm like, what? I could have been Grammy nominated and Grammy Award winner.
Yeah.
Oh,
But,
that
yeah,
is
so it's been really, really cool, and just unreal. I'll be lying if I said I didn't want to win. I definitely did, because I had plans on what I could do with the award. To be transparent, I was driving on East Broadway, and as I'm passing the Crow Lane section, I saw the Flory Duffy sign, like Flory Duffy Lane or Hill.
Yeah.
And I pointed, and I was like, see, this is what they give you when you win. And in that moment, I felt like kind of like, wow, man, like I really needed this win because I wanted to make history. But people say that I have made history already, right? So, but, you know, just me being a young, ambitious Bermudian who got Grammy nominated, I'm like, wow, I'm just one more step now to Grammy Award winner. So, you know, I was kind of like having all these expectations for myself, and it was difficult. It was difficult, right?
But I think, and I feel you, because I love to win. But
yeah,
so you were nominated for the most prestigious award in music, and I think you know, just that feeling, knowing that you were there, is a, you know, let's think of Dame Flora Duffy. I mean,
yeah,
she didn't win her first gold medal at the first few tries.
Yeah.
Right. And she wasn't always a world champion. So I think, I mean, especially you just saying that the gentleman who actually won the Grammy you worked with previously, I actually think being nominated opens up more doors for you. Yeah.
Very much. It definitely does. And that was just me just being vulnerable and transparent, right? About my feelings of not actually winning at that moment. But shortly after that, I went right back to being grateful. Because the initial feeling that I felt of not winning was more of what I was preparing for myself. It wasn't a sore loser mentality. It was just what I was preparing for myself, because I had anxiety all that week. My chest was hurting. I was like, I need to go to the doctor. And but you know, like I said, to even be nominated is huge. And it puts me even closer to being still amongst like the elites of musicians and things like that. So trust me, I'm extremely grateful.
Yeah.
And it just encouraged me to work even harder, even more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
Well, and so how do you hope to build on your Grammy nomination and what's next?
well, with this nomination now, it just puts me, people start answering calls now, you know?
Yes.
That's what happens, you know. People start answering emails now, you know, because they're familiar with you. So I would say the work is still continuing. I'm still working with a bunch of artists. I never like to say who I'm working with because I could say who I'm working with, and then it could be like the day of it's supposed to come out, and then it doesn't. And I'm experienced that plenty times. I even had I had a check coming to me from RCA Records, and the artist that I produced for, they got into some trouble. And then RCA Records dropped them just like that with my check like coming to me.
Wow.
And I was just like, man. So so you don't, anybody who's in the music industry knows that you don't say nothing until like it actually comes out. So, but I would say, aside from working with artists, I was thinking of giving myself a title, you know, in Bermuda. And I want to be a music ambassador. And also a art ambassador, you know, from a place of unification, like bringing all the people like that into the arts, music together to form a conglomerate of us coming together and making things happen. Because I feel like that the arts is not valued or respected enough, like sports and things like that get more of a bigger support. I feel like that when it comes to the arts, it's more like it's private entities that support, or you know, it's just not, to me, it's just not valued enough. And so for me, that's something that I'm working on to like even just build and do. I'm not saying when it would happen, but just over time, that's what I'm working on. So now I'm trying to make myself present for everything that is going on, network with everybody, and even talk to the higher ups that can possibly invest as well into the arts, and just and me as the example, like look, like this is how far I came without anybody's help.
Right.
I'm not trying to put you on the spot. Honestly, I'm not trying to put you in a bad spot. But I swear on the front page of the Bermuda newspaper today, there's something about, you froze. You there?
Right. So I want to I want to use myself as the example of getting this far without the support of like basically this how far I came without a lot of support, right? But I'm have personal support. So my thing is, imagine if the country or the people that can invest, if they invested more into the arts, the things that we can accomplish. You know, I was talking to someone.
Ryan, I don't want to put you on the spot, but again, I think it's on the front page today or yesterday. But there was 800,000 to invest in it. It just went to someone who seemed to run with the money. And again, I'm not putting you in this conversation. I'm just saying that Grammy nominated comedian.
All transparency. Yeah, all transparency. And that, I think, is an example of not doing enough research and where you're investing your money. I think that's the best way I could put it. And just people just not being as informed, you know. So I don't know all the details behind it. To be honest, I heard about it. I read some things about it, but I think that's just I think that's something that happened with lack of information, lack of research, and at the same time, I don't know how people are going to take this, but on the positive side of it, that's hope to show that they was willing to invest based on what they felt was right. So imagine if. So I guess that's just how it's just how I see it. I look at it from a positive perspective as well. Like, okay, if you love actually done that, and whatever came out of it, cool. But now imagine with more information and things like that, and you actually seeing where it can go, maybe that will help investing again.
Yeah.
Right.
Rosalind Famous says, so glad you're in your zone and thriving in your passion. Congratulations. Tamara McHale says, just the fact you're nominated for the Grammys is an accomplishment. 100. And Chica Trot says, what an accomplishment. Continue to soar and follow your dreams. Karen Simmons says, congratulations, Ryan. What an amazing accomplishment. Continue to soar to greater heights. With that said, I mean, you just mentioned, being an ambassador and, finding ways to help others. What advice would you give to someone in Bermuda in the entertainment space who, has these goals and dreams? Again, you don't have to be in Hollywood or New York City. Share with them.
Yeah, I would say be the biggest believer in yourself, but take yourself serious. The information and the resources are out there to make it happen. If you are an artist and you want to get your name known, then think bigger than where you're at. You could take trips if you got a job. Then and don't take shopping trips. Take trips to networking events. Go to open mic nights. Like go to New York. Like go to open mic night because it's people that are scouting people there all the time. And get familiar going there. So every time you're in town, the people that have these open mic nights, they're familiar with you, and if they like you, then who knows what opportunity can come out of it. Like I said, go to networking events, because I know that with social media it's helped people, but I promise you people still like to shake your hand and see you face to face as well, because a lot of things somebody told me that the biggest deals are negotiated just like over like drinks and dinners and things like that. Like, so if you're relying just on social media and things like that, then then it can only take you so far. It just puts you in a pool with everybody else. Yeah. So my thing is, just don't be complacent where you're at. Like, just like show people that you believe in yourself more than somebody else does, and then be serious enough to where people take you serious, and because like my advice is more personal advice, like within you to like from a characteristic standpoint, because once you have in her sorted out, then you could go anywhere and nobody can tell you nothing, you know what I'm saying? So when you endure a challenge, you know what I'm saying, you got to fight within you to like keep on going. Yeah. So my advice, it starts within. Yeah. It starts within, and then everything else. Because think about it, when you want something like for men, when a guy wants a girl, he goes all out.
Yeah.
He goes all out.
Speak that stuff.
He might even buy us something for Valentine's. Once it's got Valentine's doesn't exist.
Don't believe that advice, Ryan.
Well, my whole point is that when you want something, the consistency and persistence that's in you, it just pushes you to go get what you want. So it starts with you,
Absolutely. So how can people get in contact with you if they want to work with you, Ryan?
Speaking of people getting in contact with me, that's my dentist calling me. Sorry. People get in contact with me on Instagram underneath A-Track is 8TRACK, and it has my email address on there, and that's the best way to get in contact with me for any inquiries and things like that. And yeah, that's the best way to get me.
And let them know that you take a few days sometimes.
Busy man.
Right. Yeah. It was a certain time you was hitting me up, Sherry. That's all it was. You know what I'm saying?
It's all love.
Sometimes you gotta let her messages marinate, bro. It's all good. It's all
It's
good.
all love.
All good. Hey, honestly, congratulations again on what you've accomplished so far. And again, I mean, some people dream of just releasing a song or just having someone respond to a message. You literally have been on these records. You're producing. You're doing good things. So we wish you the very best. And you know, if there's anything we can do, if we know somebody, I mean, you know, Sherry might know a few people out there in Atlanta in a club every damn night. But anyway, I'm just saying, you know, one of us gotta be outgoing. But no, look, man, if there's anything we can do, please reach out. But we're proud of you, and we're happy to have this conversation all over again when you win that Grammy next year.
Yeah. And you know how I feel, Ryan. You know how I feel.
Yeah. Been a day one supporter. So, you know, I really appreciate both you guys, you know.
Appreciate you, brother. Talk soon. Thanks again, Ryan.
Thanks a lot. See you guys later.
All right. Folks, Rian A-Track Williams, give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. Bermuda, as far as I know, Bermuda's only Grammy-nominated producer, the only Bermudian to be nominated for a Grammy. If I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong. Give us some love. Share that conversation. I think that conversation was a lot of inspiration in it. There was a lot of lessons in there. What I got from it is, I mean, nothing's given. Nothing's given. You got to work for it. Stick with us. We're going to take a quick break, and Sherry's going to come back with some sick, crazy stuff and try to trick me about it.
Look at the negativity.
Yeah,
I'm trying to inform you.
I'm real, bro. I'm real. Let's go.
A lot happens around your home. That is why at One Communications, we have introduced affordable security and video monitoring, because everyone should be able to afford to protect their family. Anytime, from anywhere, One Home Security keeps you connected and puts security in your hands with an easy-to-use smartphone app to control everything. Home security is important to keep you and your family safe. Motion-activated cameras around your home and security monitoring within create a complete security system providing protection both inside and outside your home. Professional monitoring means that there's someone on call with 24/7 protection to notify the authorities and help keep you and your loved ones safe. We are dedicated to whole home protection with indoor and outdoor cameras, smart door locks, motion sensors, and more, so you'll always be connected to what matters most. With professional installation, no upfront hardware fees, and low monthly rates, because keeping your family safe should be affordable for everyone. Total home video monitoring and security, there's no better way to protect your home than with One Home Security.
All righty, welcome back to the Big Show. Sherry Vanderpool, myself, Jamal. And thanks again to Grammy-nominated music producer Rian A-Track Williams. Folks, great conversation. Give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. Thanks again to One Communications, People's Pharmacy, Medical House, Lindos for ensuring we can have these kind of conversations. It's time for the Daily Play, brought to you by Bermuda Trivia, now available at stores throughout Bermuda. Follow Bermuda Trivia on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok to find out why it's Bermuda's favorite trivia game. Sherry, I'm ready. What you got for me?
Little Black history question. Who was the first Black quarterback? My second question, in what year did the Janet Jackson and Justin Timberlake
2001.
Brendan, wrong.
Sorry. 2003.
Wrong.
2002.
Wrong.
Well,
3 wrongs.
Oh, well, it's 2005.
5?
Yeah.
Wrong.
Or 4. Okay, 4.
4.
Yeah. Whatever. I got it. Try to get me like that. Whatever.
It was a good one. You wasn't sure on what Super Bowl question, but that was a good one.
Yeah. I mean,
what team did he play for?
Doug Williams?
Doug, yes.
Well, they no longer exist under that name, but the team from Washington, they were called the Redskins back then.
Okay, just checking.
No, be honest. If I didn't know who the first Black quarterback to win a Super Bowl was, take my black card. That's seriously take your black card.
Well, you would have took mine.
Yeah. Well, I mean, never mind.
Yeah, it's being recorded. Anyway, what's your thoughts on the show today, Jamal?
Who we talked about? Dr. Siemens thing? That's what we talked about?
Yeah.
Doctor, you know what, Sister Sherry?
No, I'm sister.
I'm saying it live on air. I normally say it in the private chats. I'm sorry. Honestly, I think when you think about today's discussion, my hope is that people don't respond to Dr. Seaman in the way they receive Dr. Seaman, if that makes sense. I don't think if you receive what she's saying as hate, don't respond in hate. Because if that's what you're doing, you're no better than that person. You respond in love. You can't quote Dr. King a couple weeks ago and then go against everything he says. Well, I can because I didn't quote him, but you get my point?
Yeah.
Respond in love. Respond with information. If she's using her book to justify her feelings, you then go and use that same book to explain to her why she's wrong. But I don't think trying to get her deleted off a platform and blocked and eliminated, I don't think that's the answer. That's not going to solve the problem. What we're trying to do is get to a space of understanding. And we don't get to a place of understanding by trying to silence people. We educate each other. We learn from each other. The problem is, and I've had to learn this. Everyone's not going to agree with us. But as long as that person is not causing physical, mental, or emotional harm or inciting it, then let's have a good old-fashioned conversation, a debate, an argument, and work through those problems. As far as Rian Williams, I think he's an example. There's no big hype around him like, everyone's talking about him and this and that. It's not sports. He used a comparison. But he's silently doing something many people only dream of, not just Bermudians, people around the world. Around the world, he's doing it. And he's doing it from Bermuda right now. But it's another testament to what he said. The world is much bigger than the space that we live in. I say it over and over and over. With the internet and social media. You're a social media manager, social media marketer. Why are you limiting yourself to only applying for jobs in Bermuda? Uncage your minds. Sherry, what you got for us?
As far as Dr. Seaman, my views are informed decisions are the best way of understanding it. And let's not take that away from students who want to learn more. So for that is, and I get what she's doing, but at the same token, why are we taking away something that can be very positive for students who are willing to learn? As far as Rian, from knowing him, as he said, from a day one and seeing where he started and seeing his journey and being out here in Atlanta sometimes the same time as it's great to see where he is. It's inspiring, it's motivating, and I love what he says when you work from the inside out, and to know that your mindset has to be in that space and then it filters out is great to see. So I'm just super proud of him. Just very proud.
All right, Auntie.
Hold on to your dreams of a better life and stay committed to striving to realize it. And that's from Earl G. Graves Sr.
All right. And do you know who he was, everybody?
No.
The owner of Black Enterprise. Yeah, Black Enterprise.
Okay. Thank you, Jamal.
Make sure you register to become a member of the TDH community. Just fill out the application on our website, folks. It's thedailyhour.com, or through our YouTube channel. Just hit the join button. Also, if you appreciate the conversations, you can always give us a little thanks or make a donation as low as $1 if you appreciate what we're doing. Thanks again to our partners, Medical House One Communications, Linda's, and People's Pharmacy for ensuring that we're able to do this with you on a daily basis. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you on Monday. She's Sherry Vanderpool. I'm Jamal Hartman. My friends, please do make it a safe and a great weekend. We're out. Peace.